Hello y'all, welcome to part 3 of my Afro-Abkhazia path playthrough in the Hearts of Iron 4 mod Kaiserredux. In part 2, the country was able to successfully break away from Georgia, and on top of that there were some elections, and the SDPA, also known as the Social Democratic Party of Abkhazia, won those aforementioned elections. Now we're doing the focus, deal with Kaiserredux, and we'll probably just continue maybe doing more of the SDPA their political tree, and Hawaii joined the co-prosperity sphere that happened. And for some more details on the SDPA, here's a little history lesson on them in this timeline. Well, within the world of Kaiserredux, it says here, established shortly after Abkhazia became a legitimate autonomy of Georgia, a group of pro-Georgian Mensheviks led by Varyam Shashvali have united to create a branch of the Georgian Menshevik Party in the Abkhaz region. And now I gotta start doing a new focus soon. As Georgians being a majority in the Abkhaz region, the party acts as their main representative and is in opposition to any separatist forces. And the Ottoman Empire formed the Sarajevo Accords. That's a big deal. Now let's complete national cultural autonomy. And it says here, what does it say? I don't know. Actually, hold on, let me start doing something else. Whatever, national cultural autonomy, we can't cancel it. We just can't cancel it. But it says, with a principle of national cultural autonomy, we will likely solve all the problems with separatism. By ensuring every person can speak and learn his own language, we will make a great success in our integration efforts. So that is going to happen, and now Liberia is fighting Deutsch West Africa, German West Africa, whatever you want to call it. And who is in the Sarajevo Accords? We have a new unit there, good. It says here, the question of the Afro-Abkhazia minority. And for this event, this is important to the path we're trying to get to. In this playthrough, it says, with the news spreading all across Sakumi district about our government's intentions to establish a national cultural autonomy for all ethnic Abkhazians to enjoy, a small group of people of African descent, also known as Afro-Abkhazians or African Caucasians, from the small settlement Ajabashaha at the mouth of the Kadori River, have gathered to express their opinion on a specific autonomy their community needs. While some of our ministers argue that they are indeed Abkhazians according to their own words, and they will get the autonomy, the Afro-Abkhazians want their settlement to get specific attention and guarantees that they won't be forgotten or their rights violated. Even though some don't see anything wrong about that, there are still some ministers that object to this, as we should treat all Abkhazians despite their descent or origin. And I guess the idea is to treat all Abkhazians as equals regardless of their descent or origin, and I believe that's the general idea being expressed here. And now let's choose to say, what? They only have a small village and they are technically Abkhaz, or however you want to say it. And from this we'll lose minus 50 political power as well as minus 5% base stability. That is unfortunate. Now, let's, in the focus tree, start doing something new. Like, say, radio, research that, please. Get that done. Terrific. National cultural autonomy will be done in a little bit. After that, we'll do pressure separatism. That will take 35 days. And can that focus even be canceled? Okay, I think you can. Interesting. Very interesting. Whatever, we'll do it then. Let's actually do prevent cattle rustling first. And it says here in the focus description, the cattle rustling has significantly increased in the recent years due to overall poverty of common Abkhaz people. We must not only prevent further crimes. Oh, what is this about? Abba Shaban coups the government. A notable leader of Afro-Abkhazians, Abba Shaban, a rider of the Abkhazian hundreds of the Circassian Cavalry Regiment of the Caucasian Native Division during the Weltkrieg, has been living in his native settlement of Ajrabasha since the end of hostilities. During his time, he became a well-known supporter of the Kaiserredux and Nestor Lokava, as he managed to provide serious military training for the volunteer peasant brigades. With our government's refusal to grant his village autonomy, he had rallied the Kaiserredux supporters and some of the Afro-Abkhazians in order to seize power in the district. and restoring the power to the Abkhaz people, or the Abkhaz people. In a sudden attack, he managed to get our government arrested and dissolved by his own will. With the country in shock after another coup in recent year, Abbas Shaban has met with Lullaby in order to restore people's power to the Kaiserredux. However, there's still a chance that even Lullaby will forget the Afro-Abkhazians, perhaps he should not be given full authority, since Shaban is commanding now. Lullaby and Kaiserredux has triumphed. Shaban is the black hero of Abkhazia. And with that, we have completed the focus. Abbas Shaban takes over, and we have a new flag now, and the country has become Afro-Abkhazia, and Abbas Shaban is the leader of the nation, and the ruling ideology of this form of Abkhazia is radical socialism of the left Pan-Africanist variety. And Abbas Shaban historically was an Afro-Abkhazian soldier in a Russian cavalry unit during World War I. And during his service, he was awarded the Cross of St. George for a particular heroic action in that conflict. Later, when Soviet power was established in the Caucasus region, Abbas would become an associate of the Abkhaz communist leader Nestor Lullaby, which that fits in pretty well with his path, I guess, in terms of his affiliation with him in Kaiserredux in a way. And so now, are we still going to be able to prevent cattle rustling? Oh, it's canceled. That makes sense. Let's now establish the Afro-Abkhaz Council. And it says here in the focus description, even though Abbas Shaban was one of the leading generals of Kaiserredux, he decided that transferring power to Lullaby won't help the Afro-Abkhaz issue. By saving power in his hands and establishing the Afro-Abkhaz Council, a new era is awaiting Absini. And from this, the Radical Socialist Party will now be called the Afro-Abkhazia Soviet, or the Afro-Abkhaz Council, once the focus here is done. And the fall of Burgos has occurred over in Spain. And we have a whole new political tree now. This is kind of like a secret path for Abkhazia. In this mod, though, with this playthrough, it may not be much of a secret anymore, but it exists, definitely. And we got to get this focus done here. Georgia is still fighting the Ottoman Empire. They're somehow still alive. I'm impressed by that, really I am. They're also now fighting the Austrians, which makes that even more absurd. Oh my goodness gracious. This Georgia, how are you doing it, Georgia? I don't get it. You're fighting like the Austrians. Everyone, really. The Danubian Federation. This is just ridiculous. Also, it looks like the Principality of Liechtenstein, Alaska is a thing in this playthrough, yes. Yes, it is. That's a pretty powerful Austria. I'm not going to lie. It clearly is. Very clearly a strong, strong Austria. How is Serbia doing in their war with Bulgaria? They are kind of winning. I think their side will come out on top. I mean, like half of Bulgaria has been occupied, and Mongolia declared war on the Maklik or something like that. Established. The Afro-Abkhaz Council is done. Let's now complete guarantee majority rights. And it says here, the Georgian and Abkhazian people are majorities compared to the small Afro-Abkhaz community. However, this should not be a problem. Well, this should not be a problem. By Shaban's decision, the rights of the majority will be guaranteed, and from this we'll get a national spirit called national cultural autonomy. And I think the Abkhaz minority protest national spirit will be modified a little bit. And also, let's go, well now, Assyria is declaring its independence. That might be bad for the Ottomans, since they're still fighting Georgia. But with the Austrians on their side, they should be able to handle Assyria, who is like in Basra down here. And now, doctrines available, unlock superior firepower, or no. Let's go to mass assault. We're just going to do mass assault since we need to rely on so much manpower for what our goals shall be in this playthrough. And guarantee majority rights is it's a 35-day long focus. It should be done in a little bit. And here is an army here, well, a new division I mean, and we have nothing but militia. I need to probably do something about that at some point. Yeah, pick one, declared war on Hal or something. Serbia and Albania, a bunch of peace treaties were signed. Guarantee majority rights will be done in like 5 days. Infantry equipment 1 is done. Researching, good. Let's start researching something new. Go ahead and start researching computing machine. Get that done now. And guarantee majority rights is finished. So let's now start making more advanced weapons so we don't have the just most basic of rifles in the world. And going to our focus tree, let's now integrate the Kairaz. And that's going to give us some new leadership, I guess, I suppose. So we'll get a new, what is this for? I mean, okay, so I guess we'll get some new members of government, I suppose. It seems that way. Nestor Lakaba will become the, I think, the foreign minister, I believe. And now the Kairaz, well, it says here in the focus, the Kairaz are loyal for now. We need to ensure that their loyalty is to not to some Lakaba guy, but the Supreme Commander, Abash Shaban. And this will increase the popularity of radical socialism and affect our government, as I believe I've said before. And that will take only 35 days, and we have like 6 more focuses after that. Support weapons 2 is done. Good. And now let's research improved infantry equipment 1, and Japan announces her ambitions. That's probably going to end with some kind of war on the Philippines. It usually does, at least in Kaiserredux. Whenever Japan announces her ambitions, it doesn't usually go well for the Philippines. It typically ends up with at least some kind of war. Georgia is still alive. Oh, they lost a province. That's bad. And speaking of countries that are still alive, Assyria is trying to hold on. They got their country split in half, which is not good. And now, integrate the Kairaz is done. Let's start doing the focus Legacy of Savage Division. It says here, decades ago, Abbas Shaban was one of the most talented generals of the Russian Savage Division. Legacy of its glory still lives in his heart. We must ensure that its legacy lives on and will likely help us in our struggle. And from this, we'll get 2 Afro-Abkhazia units in Sochi, which that's going to be 2 new divisions for us, and that should be quite good, I would think. Only a 35-day long focus, so it won't take too long. And we're just watching things in the Middle East right now. Assyria is holding on still. Not for much longer, though. I would think Ikwan is fighting the Jabal Shamar, which is... now they're going into Medina, it looks like. Yeah. That may be bad for them, if I had to say. Very rough situation there. Georgia is holding on, but I think they retook a province. No, they lost a province. Yeah. Georgia's not having a fun time. And Legacy of the Savage Division has like a week left until the focus is completed. And did Kalmykia just get annexed by Russia? Or was it always... has it recently happened? I think they annexed them, yes. Well, that's somewhat concerning. At least the Mountain Republic, well, the Mountain Socialist Republic and the Don Cuban Union is kind of there. And why are they not part of a faction? That is just strange. Whatever. And we have these 2 new divisions here. They are elite forces. And well, they're veterans. They should be useful to us. These Abkhaz Savage Division type troops. Let's now do a new focus, and that will be a deal with the Turks. And it says here, the Turks can be the only ones who can help us in our struggle. Abbas Shaban plans to personally visit the Empire and negotiate with our potential allies. And that will give the Ottomans some kind of event, I think. Let's now start doing Concentrated Industry 2. Yes. That would take a little while. And a deal with the Turks is nearly completed. And I don't know what this will result in, but hopefully it's something good for Afro-Abkhazia here. And we just have to give it some time. So Georgia, looking at Georgia again. Have they lost any more provinces yet? Oh, they took one back. Wow. That's impressive. And the enemy is at the gates of Tbilisi. So the Georgians are still resisting quite a fair bit. So that's always nice to see in terms of just surviving there. And if they lose, they'll probably just end up as an Ottoman puppet. And speaking of Ottoman puppets, how is Jabal Shamar doing? It looks like Ikwan has lost some ground, but they are still staying alive. And what did the Turks do? Please be nice to us, Turkey. Well, Ottoman Empire. Let's now complete agrarian investments, and the Ottoman government agreed to our offer. They're going to give us military access. Good. Let's now do agrarian investments. And that focus will only take 35 days, which is not too surprising considering the rest of the focus tree, and in particular this political path we're going on. And with that said, I'm going to end what is part 3 of my Afro-Abkhazia path playthrough in the Hearts of Iron 4 mod Kaiserredux here. If you enjoyed the mod, you can check it out in the video description. The link to it is there. If you enjoyed the video itself, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.